Hey guys, I really wasn't planning on making a video today, so I'm doing this kind of quick. My setup's been kind of fast. But I was taking a quick lunch break, eating my food, turned on Netflix, and decided to watch this SpaceX show that's new. It's on Netflix. I think it's called Countdown Inspiration 4 or something. It's about the civilians that SpaceX is taking up to space, and they're going to orbit the Earth 3 times. And so it seemed interesting, popped it on, and one of the first non-astronauts who's going up into space started talking a little bit about his career, and I filmed it with my phone, so let me jump to that video so you can see it real quick. But I thought it was real fascinating and real pertinent what he was saying, so take a look at this.
You know how to fly a single-engine propeller plane, then you want to fly a twin-engine propeller plane, and then you want to fly jets. Once you started going down that slope, it was like, well, what comes next? Well, ex-military aircraft, can you fly fighter jets? And it turns out you can. That led to air show teams.
Okay, I mean, how cool is that, right? So this regular civilian pilot, just this kid, and by the way, if you go watch the documentary, you'll see he was a high school dropout. He stopped when he was 16, got his GED, but decided that since they made him like raise his hand and stuff to go to the bathroom in high school and just all this, he was like, I'm better than this. I can go start my own business, which is what he did. He started his own business. He worked from home, did get his GED, and is obviously highly educated, but did it his own way, right? And decided he wanted to fly airplanes. It was just something that interested him, so he just casually went and got his pilot's license for a Cessna, which is, you guys probably know, a Cessna's a really small, single engine type plane. And from that point, he said, well, what else can I fly? Can I fly something bigger? So he got rated for that. And then he said, well, I wonder, can I fly jets? And then it came to the point where it's like, what else can I do? Can I fly fighter jets, like ex-military crafts? These kinds of planes that cost multi-million dollars, right? And this is the part, though. This is the part that I wanted you to hone in on. He said, turns out you can. I don't know what I'm going to title this video yet, but I might just title it, Turns Out You Can. I don't know if too many people will find that in a search engine, but that is the takeaway from this I want you to get. It just got me kind of excited enough to film this video kind of impromptu, but I can't tell you guys how many times in my life I have asked myself the question, I wonder if this is possible, or can I do this? And the answer was, it turns out you can do that. Some of you know this about me. I used to be a volunteer firefighter in Maryland, and that was the most fun I've ever had working with any group of people doing any one thing. I loved being a fireman, and you guys probably don't know that I started that when I was 15. My buddy Zach came up to me one day and he was like, hey Dan, I think we could join the fire department that's there across the street from our high school. And I was like, really? They'll let us do that? And he goes, I think so. So we went over and we talked to some firemen. They gave us an application. We filled it out. We turned it in. And even at that point, I said, I'll bet all they'll let us do is clean the firehouse and wash the trucks and maybe participate in a parade or something. And he's like, I don't know if that's true. But we decided to go for it. I said, but it would be cool if ultimately we could ride as firemen and as EMTs. Well, we turned in the paperwork, they vote us in, and the very first day, official day that we were there, they give us fire gear, helmets. We're breathing out of a breathing apparatus with the bottle tanks on our backs, and we go to our drill house, which was an actual home that was donated to us by the county. They set it on fire, they're pumping smoke into it, and we're crawling around fighting fire and practicing. It was obviously a drill, but all in the very first day of signing up to this, thinking I was only going to ride in parades and be washing windows on the fire truck. And all this came about because I said, can you do this? Is it possible for a couple of high school kids to actually become firemen? And in this county, we could. I got fire trained, so I was a full-fledged fireman at 16 and was riding the fire truck on actual fire calls at 16. Same with the ambulance, was running actual ambulance calls, helping people, which was so much fun. I loved doing it. And all that came because I asked myself, is this possible? I have a Guinness World Record in scuba diving, okay? I decided one day that I wanted to have a Guinness World Record, and I'm a scuba diver, and I wanted to give it a go. So I said, hey, I wonder if a normal guy like me can just apply to get a Guinness World Record? Turns out the answer is yes, you can absolutely do that. You just have to tell them what record you want to break and go try to break it. So I did 304 front flips underwater in less than an hour, and the previous record was 100, and I beat it, obviously. So I was able to get a Guinness World Record. It hangs above my toilet, which happens to be behind this wall, incidentally, but it hangs above my toilet to this day. My Guinness World Record was pretty legit. And then finally, again, with scuba diving, I always wanted to scuba dive, be the diver behind the glass at like the zoo or the aquarium. And I asked myself, well, I live close to a zoo. I wonder if they'd let me dive there. Turns out the answer was yes. So I was able to do that. So now I scuba dive, you know, with a bunch of sea lions and seals and cleaning the tank, and I get to wave at everybody and all that. Super fun, right? That's one of my hobbies. Guys, I think you probably get what I'm going for here, but my point is, most people like to follow the rules and stay a part of the system, as it were, and never ask themselves questions. And therefore, they never, unfortunately, get to live. You have to learn to ask yourselves the right questions. Is it possible for me to do this? Can I do this? Talk to people. Have conversations with people who have done it. Be friends with them. Figure it out. This is one of the most common phrases I ever hear people talk about is if you want to become a millionaire, you kind of got to hang out with millionaires, right? You got to see how they've done it. You got to see what they're doing to get that financial freedom. So one last story for me is I asked myself, can I work a sustainable job that helps me be financially free without having to work a 9-to-5 and commute to a job that I hate? The answer to that was yes. I got into overages. I learned very quickly that it was so doable, so easy. I was able to do it no problem. Made well into the six figures my first year out. I'm in close to 200K. And that was as a brand new guy, right, doing this. So if I had never asked myself that question, if I had never said, can I do this? Can I do this thing that I want to do? Which is, for me, have money while working a little bit, you know, not a ton of time, no commute. I don't want to put on a suit and tie every day. I don't want to work in teams of people. I'm more introverted, so I'm not into the team work stuff. I want to be able to work from my home, and I want to make lots of money and get to travel and do all kinds of stuff. And the answer to that question was yes, I can do that. Overages was how I figured it out. And that's my message for you guys. Listen, I'm not even just talking about business right now. You can tell from my examples of my own life and of this guy in his. You know, now he's an astronaut. And later in the episode, just to go back to that, later in the episode, he was on the phone with a SpaceX guy that he knew. And they were talking about something completely unrelated to outer space. He was just talking to him about this guy's program. And at the very end of the call, he said, hey, I don't know if you guys are close to getting people up into space, but if you ever get to that point, you know, maybe keep me in mind. I'd love to do it. And the guy's response was basically, well, we're a lot closer to that than you think, so we should talk. So he asked the question. He basically said, hey, will you keep me in mind? And now he's going up into space. Now, obviously, he worked very hard in his life. He's very qualified, but he wasn't even calling to talk about that. He didn't send in applications, nothing. He was just talking to this guy about something unrelated, and now he's got a ticket to space to orbit the planet 3 times or for 3 days or whatever it is. And man, that is so true in life, guys. This is not unusual. It's just unusual for people that don't ask questions. Ask yourself, can I be a millionaire? Can I be financially free? Can I have a job that helps people that I like, that doesn't require a ton of my time, that allows me to focus mostly on my hobbies and still get, you know, rich, you know, millionaire status doing it? The answer to that, of course, is yes. I'd love to talk to you more about this. Follow my channel, hit the subscribe button, like this video, because there are so many overages out there, plenty of overages to go around, and I want to show you guys how to get those. It is a fun job. And remember, always be asking yourself the right questions. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.